Hello everybody, hello everybody. Welcome to the IOK Conf. This is the English session, and we are going to deal today with the African side that are speaking English about software testing, tech, etc. So you will have the pleasure to meet a lot of interesting guys. Feel free to ask a question during the meeting in the chat if you want to participate or to talk with the speakers, and someone of the team is going to connect with you in order to invite you in the lab meeting. For this session, we're just going to start and to explain you why we decided to create this event. As you know, there is a lot of tech company now that are creating startups and products for the Africa, because today the trend is changing and people are going into digitalization. And we see, according to the Google and Accenture Africa Developer Ecosystem report from 2021, that we have got a lot of developers that are going into the market, and the demand is increasing time by time. And with this demand, for sure, the change we have got is around the habit of people, where they are using most of the time new tool, new software, new application, new ecosystem that are connected between each other, or that needs to be compliant with new norm and new standards. And globally, there's a lot of fintech now that are on the market, as you know. We have a lot of companies that raise money, mostly in the English area. We can cite Nigeria, Kenya, Egypt, South Africa. That's the most and the biggest part where we find a lot of developer and a lot of startups that are raising a lot of cash in order to develop their business, their economy. But what is changing today is the expectation of the end user. People are looking for product that they can be confident with and where the quality is achieved. And that's why we organize this meeting, because we want to understand better how the quality is applied around that. And we invited some guests that are going to help us in order just to understand better what we are doing. The other thing is, we decided also to create this event. It's dedicated for QA, but also for other tech engineers and people around the tech. And we want just to give the voice to them to be sure that we highlight what people are doing on the continent, but not only in Africa. It will be also open for everybody else. And when people that you have got a subject, you can just send us an email to hello@iok.com, and you can propose some subject, and if it's validated, we can also manage some events like that all together in order to share good information and good knowledge about what people do or about the techniques that you are performing. So for this meeting, we started this morning, and we have got good, talented people that join us, and they came already for this morning for the French part to talk about what they are doing and what they think about the challenges that they are facing in software testing, mostly for Africa, but also from some members that are from France. I know, or they have been collaborating with me, and they came here also to give some advice and to exchange with the knowledge they have got. For this meeting, I will let the voice to our speaker, and I will invite Korkor. Korkor is going to be the first speaker for the English side. So, welcome, Korkor. Do you hear us?
Hi, Pierre. Thank you so much for this invitation, and I'm honored to be here. Okay, so my name is Koko Mensah, and I'm a software quality assurance test lead at eProcess International, and I'm based in Accra. I'm excited to join my fellow panelists here at IOK Conference 2022. First off, I'm going to start with my career trajectory and how I ended up in software testing. I started my career in EcoBank as a remittance officer and account opening officer for about 2 years, and also I became an executive assistant to executive directors of the technology and operational function of the same organization. I also was the program manager for the EcoBank Foundation for about a year. In 2018, I accidentally found myself in testing when a senior executive at work felt that I'll do well in testing because of my prior experience in other departments, and he gave me the opportunity to work in the testing team. Even though I had no prior testing experience and I also did not have computer science background. But along the line, I fell in love with the job and I came to appreciate the impact and value QA professionals bring to the team, especially when working with other stakeholders on complex and big projects. Last year, 2001 to this year, July, I delved into web development to enable me transition from a manual tester to become a QA engineer. And this also gave me the opportunity to become a great tester because it gives me the understanding of how developers develop applications. And if you are a tester and you understand how the developers develop the application, it gives you a better insight and makes you a better tester. I am passionate about women in technology, especially women like me from non-traditional computer science background, and also using my story to encourage girls and women to break into the tech field. So I'm excited to be here today and I'm looking forward to having this conversation about software testing challenges in African tech companies. So I'll move on to the African landscape by giving an overview of what is currently happening in Africa. Africa has now become a beehive of technological advancement. Comparing now to a few years back, about 5, 10 years ago, now we have electronic payment services coming up, artificial intelligence, data analytics, cryptocurrency adoption is here to stay. We have Binance in Africa, and we have other startups, local startups in Africa that deals in cryptocurrency. We also have startups, tech, the educational startups in tech, e-health startups. We have fintech startups in Africa due to this technological advancement. The onset of software development is also at an explosive rate. We have more web developers than a few years back. Even children and students can go on YouTube and learn how to develop applications. And students and children are building apps on a daily basis. Websites are being developed, smart bots are also being developed. And currently, the demand for African tech talent has also skyrocketed. Before COVID, we didn't really have this thing remote and hybrid job offers. But now, due to COVID and how the economy is going, there's been this there's been this increase of remote and hybrid job offers with relocation opportunities for African web developers, and salaries being paid in foreign currency. This is very attractive to Africans because our currency is really not very good compared to the foreign currencies. And we can see the increase in job adverts for manual testers, test analysts, and QA engineers. When it comes to software development, we cannot do without testing the application that the software developers develop. So I'm going to use the software development lifecycle slide to just give a brief. Okay, so software development lifecycle is a sequence of activities covering a project from planning to maintenance. But one key ingredient in this software development life cycle, that is number 5, that speaks to testing. It's something that is often omitted in projects or considered trivial or inconsequential. This is a very critical step that most projects, I mean, when you talk to colleagues in other organizations, they don't even involve testing. right, in their projects. It's maybe when they have a few days to go to market, then they rush the testing team or the QA team that there's a need to test it, or it's a regulatory requirement for the application to be tested before it can be rolled out. So you can just imagine finding vulnerabilities in application because the application was not tested. It shouldn't be viewed as a control measure and and an acceptable part of the life cycle because these vulnerabilities I mean, should rather be viewed as validation that a previous software development life cycle that it failed. Because if there's a vulnerability, we can look at this cycle and easily conclude that one step failed, and most of the times that step can be attributed to testing. So including testing in this phase means that bugs are spotted early, defects are spotted early. This can reduce cost, reduce organizational and organizational reputational damage, and the software will be designed and developed based on what the user asked. So it's more likely to provide customer satisfaction that the customer asked. Now, going into the challenges that software testing. So next on my slide is I'll delve into software testing challenges in African companies, and I'm going to start with education. So I did a little bit of research, and I also spoke to some of my colleagues that did computer science at the university, and not a single one. I mean, not a single one could confirm that the computer science degree that he did, there was something about software quality. There was nothing about software quality. They were taught software development, web development, coding, JavaScript, but the whole syllabus, nothing was mentioned about software quality or testing. Just yesterday, I spoke to a colleague in your office, Enshi, and he told me he just started a master's degree in computer science. So he asked the lecturer, I mean, I've seen the syllable, but there's nothing about software quality in the syllable. And the lecturer could not come up with any reason why there's nothing about testing in in the syllabus because the syllabus involved building application, and he was a bit worried. So for me personally, we need to incorporate software testing and quality assurance into the higher educational curriculum, and we need to create the awareness. I mean, from school, students who are doing software, computer science, they need to be aware that there's this side of computer engineering that when the developers develop the application, it needs to be tested end to end. I get people reaching out to me on LinkedIn who did computer science in school and they knew nothing about testing. Now they're interested in becoming quality assurance engineers. So they've gone back to school to study this. But if the awareness was there and the student had an interest right from school, he wouldn't waste so much time doing a course that, I mean, probably he didn't like. So the awareness is important. And then next on the point is the cost of testing certification. Most of the times we find ourselves in a testing occupation just like me. It was accidental. I didn't know anything about testing and I realized that I need to write the certification, but the certification is expensive for this part of our world. Okay, the certification is 229 USD. Inflation is hitting us, and as much as you try to save that money, you try to save, you get the amount, you try to change to 229, you are not meeting the required amount. Exchange rate is so high. So for the testing certification, it's a major problem for an African who is not even earning much, who want to get a certificate and then, I mean, become a QA professional. So that's something that, for me, I feel we have to look at. The next is limited awareness and indiscipline at the workplace. So even at the workplace, project managers, stakeholders working on projects, they see the testing team as a bottleneck. Okay, right from beginning, they sit in their Scrum meetings, they have their project committee meetings, but they do not consider testing. So a week to go live, now they come to the testing team that they need to test this application before it goes live. But testing is not, I always say that testing is not an academic exercise where you are checking boxes that, okay, this is correct, this is done, or this is not done. It is a process that you need to go through. And when we try to take them through the process to achieve to achieve what they need to achieve, because for what they need to achieve for everybody, for us and for the customer, is software quality. If the software that you've developed, if it is not quality, I mean, it will not meet the requirement that the customer even asks for. Imagine having a software application where the customer is not able to log in because login credentials were not tested well. The customer tries to make payments, and then at the point of validating payment, the application crashes. It's going to give a lot of frustration to customers. Companies are going to lose their reputation, time would have been wasted, and all this would have been avoided if testing was done right from the beginning. Testing was included in the software development life cycle. Also, non-adherence to project timelines. As I mentioned, testing is not involved on the onset of the project. They wait till last minute to involve testing. And the negative mindset about testing, I mean, everyone assumes that we are there to crash the application. Yes, it is the tester's job to crash the application. Because if the tester is able to test and crash your application, that means that in production, that is the same that's that's the same scenario the customer is going to face. That's the same problem the customer is going to face. So we test the app to crash it, and then you go and fix it. And when it is good to go, we know that we are delivering quality software to the customer. One other challenge that we tend to have is inadequate dedicated UAT environments. We build applications, but we don't have the UAT environment that is like for like to the production environment that the customer is going to use. So, I mean, in as much as we are in a hurry to build applications and then push them to market, because there's pressure on everybody, we need to roll out. It is encouraged that we test the application in a similar environment that that application is going to use when it is in production. Another point I'm going to mention is belittling quality professionals and test engineers. So when you look at research, and also according to the 2020 Software Testing Trends Report, 25% of employees in the tech industry believe that the biggest challenge facing startups in making is making software development a priority. So, even for startups, all that they are focused on is software development. They do not even consider testing. They develop the app, and I'm going to use a personal example. I got interviewed by an organization, and their role was for someone to set up a QA team. And this is a big organization, it's a software consulting company. And I asked the tech recruiter, so if you are recruiting for someone to set up a QA team, what is currently happening in the organization? Because the organization has already been set up, it is functional. What is happening? How are applications tested? Now, what the shocker for me was the tech recruiter told me that there is a senior software developer in the team. So when the applications are built, this software developer has, I mean, a certain level of experience in testing. So he tests the applications and then is good to go. But you see, one thing that we should remember that in testing, we have levels of testing and independence of testing. I, as a software developer, I know I am the best in the world. You see, so I know my app is the best, but it will only take a second eye to look at my application and tell me that no, if I don't solve this bug, if I don't fix this bug, my application is going to it's going to crash in production. So we have the independence of testers. We cannot have software developers building their own apps, doing unit testing, and it is good to go. And this is a major challenge that we are having. And so, if what we fail to realize is testing is a key stage in product development. You cannot develop a product without testing it in all industries, in the manufacturing industry, in the software industry. And the testers work is extremely important, not only for startup companies, but also when it comes to software houses and even international companies, it is thanks to the kind of work that we do for to enable us identify critical areas of the application and ensure that it is high quality by using processes to find out and to find errors before those errors are coded into the application and then built into the application. The next point is testing not built in the software development pipeline. So as I mentioned earlier, software development pipeline is a process from planning to maintenance of the application. Now, if we add, if you focus on testing, if we make testing important, what is going to happen is we will prevent defects being coded into the application. So by the time the code is, by the time the code is implemented, by the time the application is built, we would have done static testing to find out the bugs that would have been coded into the application. Also, we'll have enough room for corrective actions, and then for corrective actions when we are building the applications, we can fix the bugs before they are finally rolled out, before the application is finally rolled out. And the last point I'm going to make on this topic is the high demand for quality assurance engineers. In 2021, right after the COVID, and we've all seen the high demand for quality assurance engineers. According to AfricanNews.com and a Google report, African software developers are in high demand globally. The demand for African computer software developers skyrocketed in 2001 due to the global economic crisis. And because of this, I mean, this is a serious problem because we develop ourselves here, and then companies and organizations from outside Africa, they come offering us with juicy job offers. Salaries are paid in foreign currency. Obviously, I will not refuse a salary that is paid in foreign currency. When I change, it is double or triple what I'm earning here. So, like, we build talent, and then that talent is taken out of Africa. This brain drain is going to be a problem for Africa, especially with this onset of technological advancement. If we do not have enough software testers, when these startups build applications, there wouldn't be testers to test these applications. We also have remote and hybrid work opportunities, opportunity to relocate outside Africa for greener pastures. All these are problems that is going to face Africa if we do not do things right. So, in conclusion, in conclusion, the little I'm going to say about this topic is the importance of quality in software development can never be overlooked. We can never build robust systems without testing. If quality software is developed by a company, that means that company can be trusted to build systems and safety critical systems and e-commerce applications that will not crash on the onset of payments and that's are reliable. And for QA in Africa to be given the importance it deserves, we need to create more awareness right from the universities, even within our teams, about the importance of quality assurance and testing our applications. The business also needs to appreciate the value UA brings to critical and complex projects. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Coco. It was very interesting. And I totally agree with you. Quality is something that you don't put at the end, but you start from the beginning about I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to develop something, how I'm going to handle the quality, and how I'm going to be sure that what I am shipping into the production, into my final client, my end user, it's compliant with their expectation. It's compliant with also what I wanted to develop exactly and how I wanted to touch people, etc. So I totally agree with you, and thank you again for this session. And let's have a check at the end of this meeting. Okay, I'm going to invite for this meeting our next speaker. We have got Luxon. Luxon is going to join us. Thank you very much, Corcor. Luxon, do you hear us?
Yes.
Okay,
I'm
good.
hearing you.
Yeah,
Hi, Pierre.
good. We hear you. Yeah, I'll let you the voice and I'll let you talk with our guest and to share your mindset, to share you what you have done until now, and it's up to you.
All right. Thank you very much. And hello, everyone. And I am so grateful and honored to be part of this forum and chat. Um, First things first, I'm Lakson Makatu. Original from Zimbabwe and I am currently based in South Africa. So, just to give a little bit background to who Lakson is, uh, I I was born and grew up in Zimbabwe where I did my primary and secondary education. So then I moved to South Africa in 2004, just because of the economic situation, which I think is public knowledge now regarding Zimbabwe. So I came to South Africa with no tertiary qualification. I had just finished my O level examination, which is ordinary level, secondary level in Zimbabwe. So when I came to South Africa, first I just did all sorts of jobs. I was homeless for some time. I then moved into vending where I was selling some art and craft stuff on the streets. So after some time, the business was not going well. Then I started looking for a job as a gardener. So I then did gardening for one of the guys here in South Africa who had an IT company. So after working with him for quite some time, he is the one who introduced me to software testing. So we used to just have chats before I start my day as a gardener. And I got to ask him like, what do you do? And so he explained to me and I was so keen. He enrolled me for a 6-month graduate program in software testing. So I had no computer science background at all. I didn't even know how to switch on a laptop. But yeah, through dedication and learning, I I just got to enroll in that course, and we were 40 in the class, and at the end of the class, I was the third highest student. So after that, that was 2014. I then started as a consultant. I did work in most of the major banks here in South Africa, which is FNB and Standard Bank as well. I did work at Libat Life, which is an insurance company, and I also worked at a company called Arambe, which it deals with youth employment. And currently, I'm working in a gambling or lotto industry domain company. So I've been moving around and I have gained so much knowledge in software testing and in a lot of domains as well. So in 2020, I just organized a group of some fellow professionals from Zim, and we applied to join ISTQB as a national board. So currently, I'm also serving as the president of the Zimbabwe Software Qualification Board, which is under ISTQB, and I'm working as a senior software test analyst at a company called QOT Solution here in South Africa. I'm also the CEO of a company, a software testing company called Big Consulting, which is based in Zimbabwe. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of QA work, and yeah, that's Lakson Makatsu. Can we move to the next slide, please? All right. So I just want to give a little bit background of software testing or just for IR in general in Africa. So the key features of first industrial revolution is accelerating digitalization, artificial intelligence, cloud computing, robotics, and 3D printing have obviously and importantly have implications for education and employment and the future of work. This is especially true for African countries. Over the past decade, the share of the continent's under 20 population has expanded by 25%. That's according to World Economic Forum, and is projected to be the continent's largest age cohort by 2070. as Africa meets 4IR, its youth will be now one of the most important assets. The 4IR will heavily influence the skills and needed in the labor market. Around the world, demand is evolving towards adaptable social behavior and non-repetitive cognitive skills, and away from the routine tasks and narrow skills tied to specific jobs. In Africa, demand for software test engineers, marketing specialists, and other tech-related jobs is rising. Can we move to the next slide, please? So the next graph is just the next slide is according to Africa Development Bank. According to the World Economic Forum, this is the projected growth for youth in Africa. So Africa's under 20 population is projected to be the continent's largest age cohort by 2070. This is according also to Hanan Moss from African Development Bank. Young people are the drivers of successful digital-first economy. As Africa is closing the education gaps and setting up society for digital overhaul, is starting to reap the benefits of the new technology. Can we move 2 slides to the next one, please? So if we look at it, Africa is slowly catching up with the rest of the world. Engineers are adapting to technology, suit their specific needs and dynamics of the continent. When the world is changing from mechanical and analog technology to digital electronics 4 decades ago, Africa was nowhere on the scene. Fast forward to the present, and Africa has largely been able to catch up with other regions. Africa's digital transformation is underway, generating transformational changes across all economic sectors and providing much needed social upsides. On several market growth parameters for telecommunication, the continent has recorded the highest growth rates globally. This is according to European Investment Bank. Can we move to the next slide? Can we move to the next slide, please? All right, so fast forward to if you look back at the effect of COVID-19 pandemic on digital transformation. Under COVID, the world had by necessity gone into isolation. Social distance was the most effective way to slow the spread of the virus until a vaccine was found. As a result, anything that relied on human-to-human contacts, which is to say most aspects of our lives, was amended to account for the dangers of the virus. Digitalization stepped up to bridge the gaps left by mandated shutdowns and social distance measures. Without digital tools and technologies, the world would have been nowhere to work, shop, go to school, and do any activities. There will be no return to normal. The coronavirus has permanently reshaped the way we live, work, and do business. Some of the behaviors developed in this crisis, including wide-scale digital adoption, will outlast the pandemic. To stay competitive, organizations must respond to these behavioral changes and meet emerging customer demands. That's why there have been a lot of omnichannel e-commerce, digital consumption, especially the gaming when people were in the lockdown. Then there's also the introduction of remote work, digital health solution, and platformification of activities. I remember on my side during COVID, we were able to exercise using some online channels as well. So these are the things which were just fast tracked because of the COVID pandemic. Can we move to the next slide? So if we look at all these things, it paints like a glorious picture about the digitalization of Africa. But it's not all smooth sailing because new opportunities also present new challenges. So now we have to look what are the challenges in African tech companies, the software challenges. So the rise of digital economy and transformation. So a lot of applications and digital platforms being developed to cater for various needs. A critical part of application development process is software testing, which is quality assurance as well. It is very important to make sure that the customer receives a quality and fit for purpose application. That's how software testing and quality assurance plays a pivotal role in any organization to ensure credibility and customer trust. A lot of African market applications receive minimal to no testing due to various factors. This leaves a lot of these applications with security vulnerabilities, unreliable and being unfit for purpose. So firstly, I'm just glad Coco did mention a lot of the issues which I also have raised. It's the lack of education, lack of dedicated tertiary courses. So in the life cycle development, you'll find that at universities they are all offering programming development courses, but there's nothing regarding software testing, as Coco did previously mention. For those institutions which are offering something related to software testing, there's lack of enough up-to-date articles. As one of the people who do serve on the ISTQB board, I get that comfort to get to suggest also the new syllabi and to introduce new courses on the ISTQB offering. So recently there's been AI testing, which was introduced in ISTQB, but I had a call recently from one of the guys who said they were trying to study around that AI testing, but the only material they could get was the one which was on the STQB syllabus. So there's a lot of institutions are not really updating their articles and moving with the time. So most of the articles which you find around software testing, maybe it's from 2012, but as we all know, IT moves very fast and we have to constantly update our syllabi. So also few or no universities providing software quality assurance programs at tertiary levels. Then we move to outsourcing. Most testing done in Africa is not done by locals. This is also due to a combination of factors, because many people at universities, what they know is they are being taught about development, and after they finish their courses or their studies, that's what they only think about, to find a development job. So as for me, whenever I heard about IT, and even for my peers, when I talk to them that I'm working as a software quality assurance engineer, what they always think about is I'm someone who fixes the laptops and the hardware and stuff. So you can see that there is no awareness. That's why even when it comes to testing in Africa, most companies have to outsource their testing to be done by international consulting companies as well. Can we move to the next slide? So there is shortage of skilled labor because of all these factors, just sort of interrelated. If there's no awareness, it means also there are very few people who are enrolling in those courses as well, which then result in skilled labor. So when you come to Africa, there's very few software test engineers, and the few ones who are sort of trained in Africa, they get in test as well, as just to emphasize on what Coco was saying, they get in test by the international companies with better salaries as well. So it is very important to have like locals upskilled in these courses, because some of the testing do need people who can relate to what the application is trying to solve locally. it might be a local problem, which if we give to a European company, they wouldn't really relate to what the application is trying to solve. So there's also an imbalance of resources. There are very few QA resources compared to developers in any companies. Most of the times you find that the ratio maybe is 3:1. It's because maybe the companies, they don't really value, they see value in software testing. So they just tend to offer like a little budget towards QA, and then more budget is offered towards the development. So this is another challenge which most companies are facing in Africa, that there's a very big imbalance when it comes to resources compared to the developers. There's also a misperception that software quality assurance expenditure is an unnecessary operational expense. When business fail to see software quality as a strategic investment, they allocate insufficient budget. Ultimately, this hinder proper implementation and deliver of quality applications. This also feed into the lack of funding, whether at an organizational level or at an like international level. So even companies and government, if they don't see value in something, they tend to hold back on the funding. Even the programs at the tertiary level, they are not adequately funded as well. Other factors which African companies do face is the infrastructure. So there's lack of infrastructure because as we speak right now, I was speaking to Pierre, saying that at 4 we are having power outage. So those hindrances also affect if someone doesn't have exposure to the likes of computers, or there's lack of governance on the type of quality which applications which are then rolled out to the public should have or should not have. It's also a challenge in Africa. There's also lack of access to internet and stuff. So these are all problems which are currently being faced in Africa. But now we have to look at the solutions. So as solution, there's no one size fits all to all these problems. There's need for Africa to come together and really promote software quality assurance from an organizational level to a national level as well. So that maybe even the policymakers can increase funding, or they have to include the software testing as part of the curriculum, and also sort of emphasize or put into legislation the certain standards which applications must have. I think that's it from my side for today. I thank you very much. Thank you, Pierre, for offering me this opportunity. Thank you.
You are welcome. You are welcome. It was really interesting. Thank you very much, Luxon. You provided an awesome example on what's happening in Africa. And we know that the resources, the fund, the cash is very important. And whatever the project we develop that's already highlighted, for any project of development, you probably should invest almost 10 to 15% of cost for the quality, because quality is not just a cost. It's something that you have to do in order to provide a good level of quality. If you don't if you think that it's an investment, just performing quality, and you should just see this investment like with the return of investment very quick, you are going to miss what is the quality. And you are totally right with that. And also one of the things, it's about the knowledge, trying to provide or raise awareness about software quality. And since the last 20 years, many organizations like ISTQB and in your ZIMS2QB, you are working hard in order to share this knowledge to professionalize this environment of software testing, and something that's really, really appreciate. There is not only standardization, there is also the practice, and the practice is based on the knowledge that you will have on the functional part. You have to know your market, your business, your client, the technology that you are using, the team you are working with, the developer, etc. So the mindset of a QA is big, and you have to know everybody that is around you. So thank you very much, Rickson, again, and see you at the end of this meeting.
Thank you.
So now I'm just going to call our next speaker. We have got Derek. He's going to join us. So, Derek, are you here? Are you still here, Derek?
Yeah, hello everyone. Hello everyone. I'm here. I don't know if
You're
you can get
welcome.
me here.
Yeah, great.
Okay, thank
So
you.
I'll let you the hand
Thank you.
and see you later.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Pierre. Thank you, Ayokai. I think this is one of the greatest opportunity. And like we always say, charity begins at home. I believe you guys of Africa, and it's a very good thing. And I would say this is my passion. Yeah, so I'm called Derek Atem Atangwa. I'm a Cameroonian. So I'm going to just give you a story of mine, my own story. Yeah, maybe it might inspire you to see the challenges I went through as a quality assurance and testing engineer. I will say, move to the first slide. Okay, about my career, I'm a senior QA engineer lead, leading a team of 10 resources. I'm an ICQB certified tester, currently working at MTN Cameroon. So I also do training, ICQB and ICQB cleaner, DevOps engineer. Just to highlight further, I would say I have more than 5 years of working in an IT and telco company to ensure quality products and services are delivered and test automation researcher. So also I'm a founder of Kamek. Please, can you go back, please? Yes, you're with us. Can you go back to the previous slide? Yes. So also the founder of Kamek SQA community, that is the Cameroon software quality assurance community. So there where I train many youths on how testing is, what testing is all about. And also, I have a bachelor's in technology in Cameroon, that is computer software engineering from the University of Buya. I would say I enjoy research and development and knowledge sharing in testing. So you will see Kame SQL, like I said, I've been sharing knowledge for past now. So this is my passion. So maybe we'll just dive into the subject matter. I'm going to tell you better about my own story. Thank you. Please, next step, next slide, please. Okay, so I'm going to be as brief and as slow as possible so you can better understand what I'm talking about. Yes, I would say with the growth of business, yeah, that's the opportunity for me to move from zero to one. So this journey started in 2017. Before then, I've been a DevOps engineer. That's 3 months in a company where I did big data technology. So before leaving from there, I think one of the things I did, I was called for an opportunity, testing opportunity. I asked myself, what am I going to do in testing? And before leaving school, I had most of my friends say, you're good in testing, in finding bugs. Yeah. So I said, okay, let me give myself the opportunity, So I took the opportunity to spend Cameroon as professional intern. Yes, I knew nothing about testing. I had just brief knowledge, no course in testing. So I dived into the stuff and guess what? I got below unanswered questions from management, my curious mind. I was very curious. I wanted to know more, more, more. And it was like I got these three challenges that pop up in my mind. That first thing, what are the global standards in the testing to learn from? That was the question I keep asking. What are the standards? Where are they written? Which document can I use? So that it was really challenging in 2017 when I came in. And I asked, why are we using Excel sheets than tools for software testing? Some people gave me reasons. We're going to look at that and develop more on that. How do you manage a huge
Yeah, I think we have got some issue
project
with
to
the. Okay, you can continue. Yeah, we lost
yes,
you
just
just a little
imagine
bit.
you are running a telco company and you need to do a change in the feeds. From the last report of MTN Cameroon, you will notice that you have 10.1 million subscribers. Imagine you make an error on the fees instead of 2 francs, it was not tested, it became 3 francs. So 1 francs times 10.1 million subscribers. You can imagine. In the space of 1 day, you might lose millions for a telco company, not to talk about a bank. So it is very paramount that you understand what you're doing.
Yeah,
So talking about the 3 points, can we move to the next slide? Yes, talking about the 3 points. Yes. So little to no skills makes a difference. Yeah. From the challenges I just mentioned earlier, what are the standards? The belief was anyone can do testing. That was the belief, regardless of the academic background. That's the belief. But also, the absence of software testing knowledge sharing in accordance with the global standards, fear of digital transformation in theory and testing. So they believe that anyone test is true as it is wrong. It's the 50-50. Yeah. But we're going to look further to understand that the background doesn't really matter. But what matters is what is the next step that individual is trying to take. So looking at those challenges, looking at not having sufficient information on what testing is all about, I had more of get it done. So I skipped the job that needed to be done. And while doing that, I dive into research. I learned a lot. Yes, the global standards and also the fear of people not willing to engage themselves in the digital transformation is challenging. It's difficult. Yes, let's say the truth in companies is difficult.
Yeah, we have got some issue with the network of Eric in
We
Cameroon.
work day
It's
and
not
night.
easy.
Yes, sir. Still
Yeah,
at night.
okay, I got it. So you are back.
Yeah, we work day and night. So it's tough. It's tough. So search and learn at the same time. So move to the next slide. Yeah, if, okay. Yes, the next slide, please. So it's that's the challenge of not having enough skills. But guess what? Like someone that is starting craftsmanship, he has to learn from someone. He has to start from somewhere. No matter how number of times the nail or the hammer is going to hit his hand, he just have to try. So I had so many.
Yes. We have to
Uh,
start the team of IT communication in Cameroon to implement
yeah,
more
yeah,
fiber and web connection. But yeah, I'll let you continue.
yeah, yeah. So it's really a tough one. You can imagine delivering at the speed of light, and you have to adapt, and you have to study. You need to apply the knowledge you need to apply, and you need to get things done the right way. So with that delivery of light, trying to test everything was one of the great challenges because if you're not aware or you're not knowledgeable enough to understand that you can't test everything. According to the test principles, the seven test principles, you can't test everything. It's impossible. Yes. Testing is reducing the risks. We are reducing the risks. No matter how you test, you can test from today till I don't know when. You're reducing the risks. Don't allow your customers to test your product for you. It's a dangerous one. So with that exhaustive testing that people had in mind, it's exhausting. Something you could use 2 hours, we use 10 hours. And within those 10 hours, we are exhausted. Yes, you might even meet yourself with, I don't know, with swollen eyes. Yeah. So little or no management prioritization of project delivered. Imagine yourself that projects are not planned. Yeah. So the change has been that projects like they are delivered like this. Today, you just wake up, you come to the office, and you got a project, and you need to move to production today, now. So you have to work up everything to get it done. Yeah. So there is nothing like you need to forgo a project. No, they don't forgo project. It's challenging. Only management can do that. So you can't decide as a tester to choose what to do. So management only have to do that. So the last point there is vendors do not test their products. It is very key that suppliers or vendors test their products. Yeah, you can't be a carpenter. You build a chair or you weather a chair and you don't sit on it. You don't test it. You want to sell it to the customer. How do you know it's working? Yeah, just imagine yourself that an airspace or wasn't tested well. A system for an airspace wasn't tested well. Instead of having a longitude latitude that is pointing to a particular place where it's supposed to land, it's pointing to the sea. That's the lives of people. So vendors, the solution, they have developed the solution. Customers, you can test on your own. You're the one testing the product on our behalf. So that is also key challenge. The next slide, please. So that was those were the points regarding the delivery at the speed of light, which is a key challenge within. Uh,
Do you still
no,
have
there's a point
Vincent
before.
here? Yeah.
There's a point. There, no, above. Maybe there's a delay. Okay, fine, fine. So this last, no, I think this is the conclusion. Can you go back? Go back. Go back. Go back. Go back. Go back. Yes, fine. Uh, yes. I think you're missing something. Um, the tools. Yes, making use of Excel sheets. I think with Excel sheets, it becomes very challenging. Imagine yourself, you have a project which you need to test. For example, um, a platform for online registration. Yes, it's a bit challenging because you need to make Excel sheets, you need to create sheets that you need to pass formulas to the sheet in order to get the results as fast as possible. At the same time, also, you need to report to management. Management wants to deliver a solution today, a promotion today, and you have an Excel sheet. For you to give updates, you need to somehow do an automatic computation within the Excel sheet to have real-time values. So it's challenging for you to manage Excel sheets because within the sheets, you have so much of manual work you need to do. In terms of reporting as well, it's a challenge. So the time of delivery becomes huge. Yes. So I would say, and the practices to regards to what is first. You look at the test levels, you will notice that static testing comes at the first place, that is the heavy testing, which comes at the first place. But many people ignore it. Yeah. So normally, end with static testing, you move to dynamic testing. And a lot of dynamic testing now, you will notice that there is a big issue there because you need to start with the planning. The planning and move the key item, which is the requirement traceability metrics. With an Excel sheet, you have to do that. You need to map each requirement to a test case. The test case should be mapped to at least one requirement. So it's a low lot, and you need to update that from time to time. Each time requirement is updated, you need to update that. So the management system has been one of the key things, and I think till now, yes, we are on the conclusion. There is a better way to address these challenges. Yes, there's a better way to address these challenges. The way I address the challenges were, I would say, um, from 2017 to 2022, we should find ourselves today. I would say the better way to do it was firstly, I did more research. That is, I find out what's the solution I can do. What that's the solution I can do in order to skill up was a big challenge. No one could tell me which education I could do. I spend money, I lose like 150,000 pounds somewhere online like that. And there I dived into one ICTD. So I did that certification to get more knowledge of the practical work I've been doing from 2017 to 2018. So I attended workshops. I attended a lot of workshops, conferences in the software testing, and I got a mentor. Yeah, the mentor wasn't that stable, but I think he took me a long way. I leverage on open source tools. Presently, we are leveraging on open source tools to prove the concept that it's difficult for companies to adopt the fact that they need to take tools. There's a proof of concept that is we can automate this thing, so we can use Selenium, we can make use of Tesla, which is these are free tools, ability, and build more grounds and company to those things. and we can do so many things. The last point, which is share knowledge. We do more of sharing knowledge. We started sharing knowledge, I think, since 2020, with the community moving as well, sharing knowledge, making people to understand why you should test, what, how, and why you should test. So, and what are the opportunities outside there? I would say there are many opportunities. It's true the salary base is not the best, but I would say getting to share knowledge like Ayoka is doing is one of the biggest opportunities youth can have in order to move forward in the market and gain opportunities and make companies different. I would say many startups in Boya, in Cameroon specifically, have closed because of the solution that they brought. There are so many bugs. They don't have testers. Yes, I would say there are millions of companies outside there. They don't have testers. I would say in MTN, one of the greatest opportunities I've had is I'm open to innovation. Yes, it's open for
Thank you.
innovation. So they allow me to innovate. So I will say I will encourage the youth to get all these items on the table so we can face all these challenges in Africa tech companies together. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you very much, Derek. Nice presentation. We had some disconnection and issue, but really thank you for this speech and for the voice that you give to people. So continue to provide that in Cameroon. There's a lot of tech companies where you are working and you have got a network there. You are leading some change there about software testing. Continue to do that. Let's keep in touch. And I really appreciate the voice that you provided to people that want to be aware also about software testing. And for sure, it's a professionalism environment that we are building slowly, step by step. But for sure, we are here. Thank you very much, Derek, and see you soon. We are going to the next speaker. We have got Thierry is going to join us to speak about his experience at Air France. Let's use the voice, Thierry.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Pierre. Thank you for everybody. I was working with Air France. I want to explain you what I was doing there. I'm a test engineer. It's been 3 years, like 4 years now. I'm working in this sector. Um, I start to study finance and energy. I was graduated, work in Africa in A Connecting Africa. Then I work in testing, and I starting to upgrade my skills alone, and I do formation to be ready to work in this sector next. And this is the kiosk, and I was working there in Air France in 2018, and this application is if you travel is to print your boarding pass, your bag tag. I was working there with a, a team based in Amsterdam and in India. The developers were from India and the project team were from Amsterdam and Paris, and we were working in SAFE. The SAFE agility is like you have every teams to work together to program every US story you have to done in the same time on the same plane. And this is very difficult because every team have to be aligned, and we faced a big problem, and we have done a good job there, and we launched every 3 months new big functionalities and new epics, and it was very nice. Next. And like you see, and after the boarding pass and the bag tag, we have done the mobile application. We synchronize everything on the PNR, the reservation of every flyer, and we have done extra functionality, like you can change your seat, you can order your meal if you want a meal without gluten, and everything was done on the kiosk. Everything. Next. And the agile team was very, very important. It was my first mission, and I discovered how to write the user story, how to make the points, how to test the delivery items from the dev team in India, and we work. It was at the start, it was very difficult, but working time by time, it was less impressive, and I was adjusted by this. And the collaboration with dev team and project team was very difficult at the start, and then we worked together, and every incident and issue was corrected last in the day or or tomorrow, just 1 or 2 days of correcting. And the agile ceremony was very easy because we work. I was in Paris, and the team was in Amsterdam mainly, and we were in Amsterdam every week to do every ceremony, but we were in Amsterdam every 2 weeks for the delivery. The sprint was 2 weeks. The plane was the train. We call the plane was every 3 months. Next. And we use Jira to make the US story, to calibrate the sprint, and Confluence to project, to use every document for the project. We put them on Confluence, and Grafana and BAM Insight was principally to see the projection of the day-to-day user, and to see if it's okay or if it's not okay. If we have a bug on the production, or we can see if we can adjust some bug here in production. Next. And my function was tester, but I was consultant too. And when you are a consultant, your task is to have a good deliverables for the client. The client just see the deliverable. They don't care about the items, the user story. They just want to see what do you produce every week. And it was very difficult at the start, and I have to improve my my posture. I have to improve to anticipate the needs of my clients. The clients were at Air France, but I was in the Air France and KLM team. The French side of the group was my client, and I have to work principally for Air France. And it was very nice, and I were at least at the end, I were very good to do my job, and I was helping other project team to explain them how the kiosk is working, and to do support for the other teams. Next. Okay, I have to finish. If you have question, I don't know, Pierre, if it will be at the end.
Yeah, so actually we don't have so much question for the English part, but we will talk with an open debate at the end of the event to discuss a bit more about the different challenges that we face and what we could do, and also what we could provide also to just like build the leadership of people that can provide the knowledge, skills about software testing, about also development, because it's really important. Thank you, Thierry, for this speech. And I'm going to pass the hand to Joël. Thank you very much, and see you later. So let me just call Joël.
Hello, everyone. First of all, I would like to apologize because I have some camera issue So, sorry. Okay. So you want to be able to sing. So for today, I will be talking about testing for software developers.
Yeah, just 1 second. We just have a mic issue that we want to fix. We just come back.
Yes. Hello, can you hear me? Hear me? Can you hear me? Hello?
Ton micro, il passe mal.
Okay, so I will just go without my headset, Pierre. Je vais aller directement comme ça dans le studio, je vais parler ici. Allô? Hello? Change de micro. Can you hear me? C'est que ça me plaisir. Can you talk now? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, so I'm just going to provide you my headset. It will be easier if you.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Can everybody hear me?
Tes enceintes. Le son.
Hello? Hello, hello?
Maman, tu dois m'entendre parce que c'est moi. Tu peux parler. Vas-y, parle. J'ai mis moi à la place.
Yes. So I will be talking about testing for developers because I am a senior developer. I am an independent senior developer. I do consulting for some companies, and so today I will briefly talk about me. I will give you some real life example. I have picked for you to just have a feeling about what testing might be, and then I will be focusing on software testing for developers by showing you a front end overview, because I nowadays work mostly on the front end parts, and then we will conclude. So if you can move to the next slide. So yes, so like as I was saying, I'm a senior full stack software developer with a strong focus on front-end application, and I'm nowadays more of a tech lead with more than 10 years of experience. I am really passionate about technology. I love to share and to discover things about IT and to discover also people. I was born in Ivory Coast, where I grew up until my 17 years old, and then I moved to Switzerland for my studies. I spent like 10 years there, and I started to work there also, and then I moved to the US for 1 year, and I came back in France in 2013. So since then, I'm here helping the customer. But nowadays, we are strongly looking forward toward Africa, and this is the reason why we are here today. So I work for different companies, from banking, financial companies. I work for companies working in the energy sector. I also work for, like, it was 10 years ago, I worked for the UNESCO and UNHCR and CIO, which were all based in Geneva. Can you move to the next slide, please? So I want to tell you about some stuff that happened around the world. Like in September 2022, people launched the new iPhone. They launched a new feature for the iPhone 14, and this feature was crash detection to automatically alert emergency services. And what happened in September is that some people who went to ride some roller coaster in Mason, Ohio, when they were riding, and they were going so fast and doing many movements, their iPhone 14, updated with this new functionality, started to make calls to 911 because the tools was thinking that those people were having a crash. So this can give us some feeling about whether the guys from Apple really tested their application, or didn't even consider that this might be one environment where they should have tested this new functionality. In August 2022, Instagram made a rollback to the recent updates on their platform because the end users were not happy with this new layout, this new look and feel that they gave to the application. And since I didn't want to take all those events in this year 2022, I went a bit back in time. So in 2014, we know that Nissan had to recall more than 1 million vehicles in the United States and Canada just alone, because they need to fix a software problem that could prevent the airbag from the passenger to open while having a car accident. So these are some facts that happen in the world, and this calls us to think about how could those even might have happened. Do the companies really had done their full job on trying to check if their product was without defects? So if you start to ask yourself those questions, this means that you are talking about testing, and we are here really talking about software development. So we will be talking about software development testing. If you can go to the right slide, yes. So I wanted to talk about the the what, the why, and the how of software testing, but the how was a bit too much. So I decided just to focus on the why and the what. So if we ask ourselves, what is software testing? I think it's better to think about why software testing is important. It is important as a developer and for anybody, because as human, we can make mistakes, we can make error, we can do something bad at any stage of a product development, specifically in a software development life cycle. So those errors can cause failure in the final software development for the user that is using it. So how can one discover or prevent those bugs to happen before delivery to the final client, and thus guaranteeing that we are delivering a product with high quality? People around the world decided to call this methodology software testing. So software testing is a set of processes we can use to evaluate how the system we are developing under various and different circumstances, so that we can check whether some parts of the system or the whole system as one is working as expected in given situation, and working in some other way, in some more stressful or unexpected condition. Software testing allows us also to identify bugs and errors very early, so that we can try to access them to improve the reliability and the performance of our application. It also allows us to identify whether or not, or by how much amount, we are not respecting the actual requirements that were made when we were asked to build the application. So software testing helps us reduce flow in order to increase the overall quality of our software, because we are able to detect them, we can fix them, we can solve them. So the final product is more reliable and with a high quality value. Software testing, as the previous talkers said, is not one. There is not one way of doing tests. There are many kind of testing, and basically we can group them in three categories. The first one is the functional testing. The other one is the non-functional testing, and the last one is like whatever we cannot put in those two first categories. So for the non-functional testing part, we can talk about performance testing, scalability testing, accessibility testing, or like usability for the disabled people. But we will be more focusing, since I'm talking about developers here, we will be more focused a bit on the functional part, because for the testers, they have the developers have the responsibility to perform, first of all, the unit testing. Sometimes QA can do that, but this is not really the end goal. They are more interested in integration testing, user acceptance testing, or end-to-end testing. Yes, next slide. So if we focus on the functional part, I took the three main kind of testing there, and I'm presenting it from a front-end point of view, since I'm more front-end those days. But this can also be applied for the backend, and I think maybe we can change it a bit for the database, because this is not really the same setup. But yeah, we can also have something like that. But for the front-end part, we usually work, we usually slice the software we are building in kind of, I won't say layers, but it's really like a kind of silo. So the lower one is the service part, and then we have the business logic that we implement for our future, and then we also have the UI part, the user interface, the presentation part, which has to be developed also. And generally, what we do for the service part, we just unit test them, because they are a small amount of functionality, and they are highly independent. When services need to work together, this is a kind of implemented in the logic part. So in the logic part also, we can do unit tests, but we are not using how can I say, the real value for the service used in those business logic. We try to mock them, and mocking is kind of a technique to ensure that we are not dragging more dependencies to our test. And then what we do, we can also test the presentation part independently, and then we try to move to the integration. So how some components are working together, just to see if they will break, or if we implemented them well, or if we took all the precautions. So when there is an error, or when there is something wrong, the application still continues to work. And then we have the end-to-end tests, which are the tests from, we test from the UI to the services, to see if the system is working coherently. I listed some tools that we use, that I mostly use today to work on that matter, and we can discuss about tools if you want later. So my conclusion is this: software testing is a key quality aspect of any software. Software testing allows us to achieve good quality. As a human, since we can all make mistakes, we have to make sure to prevent those in our software. Software testing makes us better developers, because we really need to think about how I will test the thing that I will implement. This was not something done like 5 years or 10 years ago, but this is a new way of working. And so, as we all said, software quality ensures software testing ensure us the quality of the product we are building, and thus validating the satisfaction of our end user regarding whatever we had to start to code first and then add incrementally. So that's my key takeaway on this. Thank you. Thank you all for listening, and sorry for we had some technical issues, but hopefully next time it won't be like this. Thank you.
So thank you, guys. Thank you, Joel. Was interesting. A bit stressed, but it's okay. Let's move to the next speaker. I'm going to call Yannick. Yannick, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, great. So for your presentation, just let me remind the subject. So you had some elements to introduce to us. It was you had a video. That's what you said. Okay. Okay. So you want just to talk a bit about this video?
Donc à ce niveau, on va tester le système de filtre, donc le filtre par catégorie sur ce site.
Okay, here we are just going to test the filter by category on the website. Okay.
Et donc là, on va créer d'abord une précondition sur X-Ray. Donc en créant cette précondition avant notre test à ce niveau, pour vérifier l'existence des différents composants, si le système de filtre existe, est-ce qu'il existe des produits aussi, la liste des produits.
Okay, here just Javik want to show that he is using just like a tool with the X-ray test management tool in order to create precondition, in order to perform some test automation with the tool that he's going to use. You can see it's using the syntax Gherkin with a cucumber mostly. Okay, vas-y.
Ok. Next. Voilà. Donc, après la précondition, on passe par créer le test. Donc, après,
Okay,
une fois
after
qu'on a créé le test,
the precondition, we're just going to create the test. Okay.
et on lance la phase d'exécution de test. On va créer une exécution de test, tout simplement.
And then we can launch execution automatically with the X-ray tool.
Donc, à ce niveau, on peut choisir l'environnement de test qu'on veut. On peut aussi déterminer la version de test, tout simplement.
Okay, at this level, we can choose the environment and also the version of the test that we are going to use to perform the test. Okay. So now the tests are running. Just going to move forward.
Donc là, on peut voir le résultat. On peut, si le test a réussi, on peut modifier le statut, tout simplement.
So if the test
Et une
succeeds,
fois,
we can update the status. Okay, let's go.
okay, donc une fois qu'on a terminé avec nos tests manuels, on pourra passer par l'implémentation au niveau de Playwright.
Okay, once we finish to write the manual test on the test management, we move forward with using a Playwright to perform the test automation.
Okay, donc là, nous sommes sur WebDriver.io. On utilise ici Gherkin avec Gutenberg pour automatiser ce système de filtre-là.
Okay, we are using WebDriver.io Framework to automate the Gherkin Cucumber to automate the different steps that we want to execute. It's using mostly JavaScript, TypeScript. So yeah, here you have got a sequence of
Ok.
requests that we want to perform and also to execute as a test session scenario outlines.
Ok. Donc, comme vous avez vu, il y avait un système de step, il y a les features, et puis un autre page object model qui est juste à côté dans carte page.
Okay,
Et
here
bien
we are
sûr,
using the page object model to organize our test and to perform the test automation using this methodology.
ok. Donc, après, au niveau du système de report, on utilise Report Portal.
Yeah, and for the reporting, we are using the report portal tools. It's a IE artificial intelligence artificial tool that could retrieve the result and display it in order to be able to make a comparison and also to see some patterns about bugs, errors, execution, performance, etc.
Ok, donc là, vous allez voir, on va tenter d'exécuter un. Bien sûr, la méthode Cucumber utilise le given, le when et le then. Ok. Donc, une fois qu'on a exécuté, on retrouve le résultat et on peut jeter un coup d'œil au niveau du report portal.
Okay, once executed, we can check the result and see on the report portal the final result, the tool. Okay, and on the tool also. Okay, this is a report portal display page where we can find the different elements that has been executed. Here we have got the whole traces of the execution that has been launched by the tool, by the framework. And so we can see the different traces and the report that has been pushed. Okay, continue. Okay, we have got the number total of execution that has been performed and that we can use with our tool.
Ok, donc nous étions sur Retrovario. Ici, on passe sur Playwright. On va reprendre le même test, mais cependant, on va plus utiliser Cucumber, mais on va utiliser Just.
Okay, here we are going to use Playwright instead of Retrovario. We are performing the same test, and we are going to use Jest instead of Cucumber.
Donc, donc ici, j'ai mes scripts, tout simplement. Donc, j'ai mes différents cas de
Here
test.
we are calling the different method to filter on the page. Okay.
Ok.
Okay, with the different tests that we created here to test the different elements.
Donc, même à ce niveau aussi, on a utilisé Report Portal. Et ça, c'est un petit jeu de données.
Okay, we created the test data and we are using Report Portal also to provide this data. Okay.
Donc, ça, c'est une petite configuration. Et là, on peut lancer l'exécution du test.
Okay.
Une fois qu'on exécute.
So we launched the execution with Jest. Before we did it already with the WebDriver UI and Cucumber, and now we do it with Playwright plus Jest framework in order to have some results. Can we move forward? Okay, we have got now the result of execution, and we see that's the total pass that has been executed and the total pass that's passed. And there is more feature that you can use here because there is also graph that you can use. Graph are very important to measure your advancement and also the different, to compare the different results. And it's something probably we show in another meeting. Okay, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. So just we recommend Report Portal. It's a great tool that you can use. That's pretty interesting. And thank you, Yavik, for this demo. Let's move forward. Yeah, just to know, to let you know, Yavik is one of the team leader of the IUK Congo. He's a full stack developer, and he started to perform software testing now for almost 8 months. He's performing testing he's also building tool for test automation. So we are trying to build something that could help the community and could also help the organization in order to provide some tool that doesn't exist in the market. Because when you work on a client, you always discover some new tool or trendy issue that nobody know how to fix or to challenge. And so that's what we want to do. And we try just to build things all together that matter for us. So the team is mostly, they are mostly SDOT, so they are all developer first. And so we work in order to improve their skills, to be sure that they are dedicated for software testing, mostly automation. They perform also test ops with the DevOps techniques. So it's important also to know how to use CI/CD, to use tools like AWS, Azure DevOps, and many tools like that, because the ecosystem of software testing is not only manual testing, is not only test automation, it's more, and you need to have a deeper and a wide knowledge of what you are doing. And that's what the team is performing today. And with all this knowledge, they can help companies, they can help collaborators, individuals, companies, and if you have got colleagues or anyone that want to perform the good path of software testing, they can approach us, and we can provide some tips. We can provide also some consultancy in order to improve your quality, because the most important thing is to have the client that is satisfied about what you deliver into production. And you want to build also this community. You want to build also more clients into your business, and you want to approach them. So it's most interesting. So we are going also in the future talk more about technical stuff, and probably to show some tool that we have been developing. So the most important part of this meeting was to talk about the challenges about software testing in Africa. And I would like just to thank everybody that has been part of this event. It was really interesting, and I will invite everybody now to join the live, so we can just discuss last time about the things that we have been doing, and also about the main subject we want to probably to see in the future. And it was pretty interesting. Thank you, guys. And it was great. I really appreciate the time that you took also to prepare this event. And yeah, that's it. Do you have something to say, guys, now? I let you the voice.
For me, I would just like to show my appreciation for this opportunity, because when I started doing the research, I realized how I mean, we know from narratives that software testing is not really a big thing in Africa. But when I started doing the research and I looked at the numbers, I was very sad, because startups are coming up. I mean, software developers are building mega things, like things that applications that a few years back we thought we needed Indians or Americans software developers to do, but we are replicating even better applications in this side of our world. And if we are not focusing on testing, then it's going to reduce all the efforts that we put in developing the application, it's going to, take it down the drain. Because when we build already from this side of the world, the confidence is really not there that a black man can even do better than a white man. So whatever we are building here, we need to focus on quality. We will not have the opportunity to fail fast, like we build and then it fails, and we have the opportunity to go and fix because technologies are coming up. New trends are coming out. So when you build an application and you put it out there and it fails, you might not even, nobody is waiting for you to go and fix it to come and, explain to them that, okay, now it works. First impression matters. And for software development, for software developers, the first impression is to write from the beginning to give the confidence that the application that you've built, it works and it works right. So thank you for this opportunity for setting this conference up to give the visibility to the software quality assurance profession. And we hope we see a repeat of this. Thank you so much, Pierre. And your team.
Thank you, Coco. It's just the beginning, and we're just starting to do that. Now we will dedicate some time, probably once a month or something every 3 months, something like that. So we will try to find time to have subject to share with everybody. The first one was just challenging, but the next one will be more easier. It will be shorter and easier to manage. And we will also try to address technical things and also part of good practices, good standard to follow, and also to share tips to everybody. And let's keep in touch. And also, you have got also a lot of things to share because you have got a very great career, and you are doing a lot of things. I see every time on your LinkedIn how you are just like engaged in this world, and something that you can share, and people will get inspired about what you are doing. And that's how we build the future, and we build slowly the path and the road according to our vision, and not external vision that's come from West country or something like that. That's pretty interesting. It's just like a big and international comprehension. So thank you very much. And just for the end, guys, Luxon, Joël, Thierry, Derek, do you have something to tell, to share?
From my side, I just want to say thank you for organizing all this. It has been really a great learning platform. Yeah, but just going forward, I think also it's taking from the foundations which you have laid with this chat and talk. I think we can just leverage on each other to work towards raising awareness on software testing in Africa as well, and just maybe pointing each other towards opportunities and wherever we can help each other grow in the areas where we are. I think I see you are involved in, I think is it DRC or Congo. So I just don't know which one is which, or if it's two countries.
The small one.
Yeah. So because you are already there, I think you can. I don't know whether it's part of your future plans to move also with the STQB, maybe join as a national board as well, where you just get to connect with like-minded professionals all over the world. You might find out from that platform that maybe if you are based in France, you might find out there are some other people who have opportunities in France as well. But then by joining those forums, you just meet and connect, and you just share opportunities as well. So it might be opportunities to grow. It might be opportunities to just get in touch with the international practices and everything. So yeah, thank you very much for organizing this. Looking forward to the next one.
You're welcome,
Sure.
Yeah, how's the guy? You have something to say? Okay. Good, guys. Thank you very much. I really enjoy spending this time with you, and I really appreciate it. And I hope now we are going to do more in the future. Next year will be for sure amazing, and we are going to continue to create some subject. So anyone, if you have got anything and you want to participate to share tech subject element about software testing, standardization, document, test automation, any tool development that have not linked with software testing. So just connect with me, connect with the team, and we will probably plan something to share with the community. So that's the end of this event, long day event for us, and I really appreciate, and thank you again, guys.